Ah yes, Fire Doge. Arcanine. If you've been playing this year's VGC format, you would have seen this lion, tiger, dog thing around quite often. So often in fact, it is one of the most used Pokemon in the recent April and May international challenges, only second to Garchomp. So I have a burning question for you. Why Arcanine? There's also a $20 eShop code giveaway going on, so check it out at the end of the video. There are a lot of factors that led to Arcanine's rise and dominance, so let's go through them one by one. Intimidate has always been a very powerful ability in VGC. Switching in a Pokemon with Intimidate will lower the attack of all opposing Pokemon by one stage. This reduces incoming physical damage by quite a bit, relieving your team of some damage and changing important one-hit KOs into two-hit KOs, which allows Arcanine and its teammates to survive for much longer than it normally would. Furthermore, you can only bring 4 out of 6 of your Pokemon to a VGC match, which are double battles, which makes it much harder to recover from an attack drop by just switching out. Not to mention that many of the prominent offensive Pokemon are physical attackers, making Arcanine a great option to switch into a physical threat. Arcanine is a pure fire type. That means it resists fairy, steel, bug, grass, fire, and ice. And that is one of the highest resistances a single type has, only second to steel. So this gives Arcanine a great defensive typing, allowing it to switch in quite comfortably into a number of attacks, such as Tapu's fairy attacks, Porygon and Ninetales ice type attacks, both of course are on a stat, rest in peace. What makes this even better is that most Pokemon that have super effective attacks against fire types are physical attackers, like for Rock Slide and Earthquake. So this allows Intimidate to mitigate a decent amount of damage. This allows Arcanine to prosper fairly well, even against Pokemon it would be weak to. Arcanine has a base stat total of 555, and that's pretty good for a Pokemon that only evolves once. Let's first look at its offensive stats, and these are some really solid numbers. While 110 attack and 100 special attack aren't particularly high, they aren't something to be laughed at either. They allow Arcanine to be used as either a physical or special attacker despite its shallow special move pool. And even though 95 speed isn't as fast as say Tapu Koko, it could still be used to outspeed a majority of the unboosted Pokemon in the meta, this including Tapu Fini, Porygon Z, Gyarados, and even speed ties with Tapu Lele. Defensive wise, it isn't too frail either. With its typing, intimidability, items, and proper investment, Arcanine can become very bulky and a hassle to deal with. There is a good variety of moves that Arcanine can carry, depending on its role in the team. On the physical side, there is Fire Stab in Flare Blitz, priority in extreme speed, and coverage in close combat, Wallet Charge, Bulldoze, Crunch, and maybe a few others. As for Z moves, screw those! Fire Emblem Z is the most common Z crystal that Arcanine carries, but it can use Electrium Z to deal with the likes of Tapu Fini, Fightinium Z for Porygon, and if you're like me, throw on a Dragonum Z and hope for the best.
Ryan, please don't do that. That is a terrible idea.
Anyways, the special side includes stab fire moves such as Flamethrower, Overheat, Burn Up, and Heat Wave. Snarl is also often carried on special based or mixed Arcanines to help keep opposing special attackers in check. The spread chip damage is also nice to break sashes and disguise. Special Arcanine is less common, but it can fill out a team quite nicely if you already have enough physical attackers or are just looking for more support. Alright, now let's talk about Arcanine's support moves, and there is a lot of them. Will-O-Wisp and Snarl are the most popular options. Will-O-Wisp burns the opponent, dealing chip damage and halving the attack stat, while Snarl, as said before, lowers the special attack stat of opposing Pokemon. There are other less common options such as Helping Hand to boost partner Pokemon's moves by 50%, Roar to prevent Trick Room and setup, Toxic for steadily increasing chip damage each turn, Morning Sun for recovery, and Thief for item removal. All of these factors combine to allow Arcanine to fill multiple roles: offensive physical attacker, support, or a blend of both, which lets Arcanine fit on almost any team. One last factor that contributes to its high usage is that there just aren't any better fire types in the Alolan decks. None of the other fire types can really do what other Pokemon or Arcanine can't do better. It's speculated that Incineroar could rise to take Arcanine's place when Game Freak finally releases its hidden ability Intimidate, but until then Arcanine's really the best option that we have. Now that we've gone over Arcanine's strengths, let's cover some of its flaws. It's still weak to water, ground and rock type Pokemon, most of whom can apply pressure to it, especially if they're carrying a super effective Z move. Even though Arcanine has a number of great coverage options, Arcanine's physical move pool is still somewhat shallow and quite predictable. Having well-rounded base stats also means that none of its stats are particularly great, they're just above average. Despite these flaws, Arcanine's advantages heavily outweighs its disadvantages, making it, without much competition, easily the best fire type in this entire format, making Arcanine something you must consider during team building, whether using it or preparing against it. Speaking of which, here are some simple sets you can get started with: offensive physical attacker, fast support, and bulky support. Some team options are water types, which resist water while pressuring rock and ground types. Meanwhile, Arcanine helps to cover against grass types that they are weak to. Good choices include Tapu Fini, Gyarados, double Intimidate, Araquanid, and Gastrodon. Grass types, since Arcanine can deal with ice and bug types while resisting fire. Trikatana, Tapu Bulu, Whimsicott, or Dhelmise. Fairy types, as Arcanine can threaten most steel types. Any Tapu or Mimikyu are great options. Dragon types for defensive synergy, as Arcanine resists both ice and fairy types. Frail offensive Pokemon, since Intimidate and Snarl help frail Pokemon live more hits without investing as much in defense. Or setup Pokemon, as Arcanine support can help teammates set up things like Trick Room, Tailwind, or stat boost. Checks and counters include ground and rock and water types, Garchomp, Crocodile, Mudsdale, Gastrodon, Tapu Fini, Gyarados, Milotic, Araquanid, Pelipper, Gigalith, Aerodactyl, Nihilego, you get the picture. Competitive or defiant Pokemon love Intimidate, such as Milotic or Bravery, and powerful special attackers like Tapu Koko or Tapu Fini can put a huge dent in Arcanine with terrain booster attacks or Z moves. And finally, here are the most recent usage stats for Arcanine's moves, abilities, natures, and held items, as well as teammates from the April and May international challenges to help you consider sets and teammates during team building. They can be found on the Pokemon Global Link website, which will be linked below. User Black117 wrote a comprehensive piece on Arcanine, which I used as a basis to write this episode, with all the calcs for the sample sets and more on PokemonForever.com. Link to his channel and the article and any other source I used to help make this video will be in the descriptions below for you to read yourselves if you like. So yeah, I guess that's it. Now before anyone says anything, I just want to admit firsthand that I am not the best player. You can just look at the right here, but I did my best to try and collate as much as possible about Arcanine and help you guys understand why it's doing so well in the current format. Thanks to Nick for his minor appearance just now, and you can check out our Facebook group at Pokemon Station. Link is up here. It's a very VGC central group. We have tournaments, giveaways every so often, and we hang out there a lot, so yeah, you can go check that out. And speaking of giveaways, $20 eShop card. All you have to do is be a subscriber and comment below in the video. It could be about the video itself, it could be about Arcanine, or if you really don't know what to comment, you can just suggest a Pokemon I would do another one of these for, you know? So yeah, thanks for watching, have a great day.